Hey everybody, welcome to Gunny's Sharp Talk. I'm here at Omaha Knife. I want to go over some products, mostly the TSPROF products, because I get hit with a lot of questions. Some of you looking to buy a TSPROF and you're not sure whether to go with the Blitz 360, the K03, and then there's so many packages. I know all of it can kind of get confusing. So I'm going to go over the basics, the Blitz 360, and the K3. And I'm going to go over some pluses and minuses of each system. Some of the features that they have and things like that. So let's start with the Blitz, and we'll kind of go back and forth between the Blitz and Blitz 360 so I can point out some of the differences. So one of the main difference between the two that makes one Blitz and one Blitz 360. So when TSPROF first come out with the Blitz, they came out with this fixed piece here with the ball in there. Well, with that fixed piece, you're limited on how far you can go left and right. So basically, it really limits the length of blade that you can sharpen. Where the Blitz 360, they have a different piece in here. This piece slides up and down, but it allows it to go a full 360 degrees. So it makes it easier no matter how long a blade is. As long as the rod will reach out, you can technically sharpen it. Personally, it's not designed realistically to sharpen really long blades, but it will do things like this fillet knife. I'm not going to sharpen anything today. Just kind of have it set up to show you some of the features. So one of the other differences between the two is the Blitz does not have this magnetic pad. You can buy this and this separate in a separate package. So you can start out with the Blitz and then eventually make it into a Blitz 360. Why would you want to do that? This is about $100 cheaper, out of the gate. I know sometimes you want to build on something or you want to buy something and see if you even want to keep it before building on it. But this gives you an opportunity to start a little lower cost, and then eventually build into this, or decide you don't want to spend the money and build into this and go straight to like a K3. Or the new Cadet that will be coming out. I'm not really talking about it because I have limited information on it right now. But some of the features here, the reason why I like this table is because you can zero out your angle cube, and then this is basically the angle of the blade. So then by doing that, when you adjust up and down, then you're changing your angle. You're able to see your angle without having to set it on a blade or something like that. It makes it a lot easier. Is it necessary? Not really, but it is a lot easier. Makes things go a lot faster. Some of the features are the same between the two, such as your major controls here. This drastically brings your angle up and down. So then you have what's effectively a stone compensator here, and you have it on.
Can I interrupt and back you up? You didn't.
Yep.
You spun the lock, but you didn't explain it.
The
locking knob there. Yes.
Yeah. So back off on that in order to use your larger adjusting knob here. This just tightens it down to keep your angle, so the knob doesn't move on you, so the clamp doesn't move up and down on you. Now both of them have this stone compensator. So what that is for is when you have different thicknesses of stones, obviously, between these, and say you have, as an example, a 3mm stone and a 6mm stone. This will allow you to adjust for the stone thickness, allow you to adjust minor angles. So each click is a 1/2 millimeter. So 2 clicks is 1 millimeter. So if you had a 3mm difference, obviously you want to turn it 6 times. And that will give you the difference between the stone thickness. Now, in theory, that's great. In actual practice, once you start wearing a stone out, you're gonna have to throw the angle cube on to see what the difference is in thickness, because you're gonna start wearing stones out. You don't wear plates out, but you wear stones out. And as you wear them out, the thickness is gonna change. But in the beginning, if you know ahead of time what you've got, like I said, a 3mm and a 6mm stone, then you don't need the angle cube to adjust the difference. One of the other features on how to flip this, and it works with both systems, because essentially, like I said, the difference between the Blitz and the Blitz 360 is this whole package here. You get this, and this plate where you don't on that one. When you're flipping the blade, you have this here. You want to put your thumb here, index finger there, and turn it. If you have a handle out like that, you're going to only be able to flip it in one direction. And I always set this off to the side. I wish they had a better place to park it, and that's one of the things I'll talk about here in a minute. But then by having it hang over the table, which I do a lot on my K2, it allows me to flip either way. You don't have to do that, but just make sure that the way you clamp the blade, you have enough clearance to clear the table. You want to find that out ahead of time, not when you're in the middle of sharpening. So I'm going to flip this back real quick so I can talk to you about, sorry, it's kind of an odd angle. So these clamps, I like them and dislike them all at the same time. They are kind of small and they look like they won't hold a blade well. I assure you they will. They actually clamp pretty tight and they spread farther than I thought they would. So most folding knives that you have should fit within those clamps. Maybe some Medfords would be questionable. One of the things I don't like about these is you have these screw holes here and you have a little screw back here that you have to use a wrench and get in to move to the next hole. You only have a couple holes. So you only have a couple adjustments. So your clamps can either be out here or they can be where they're at. In order to get them here, you have to, I'm just going to take this out. So you have to turn it and feed the wrench through here in order to, and I can't see what I'm doing, but feed it through here in order to put these on and take these off. Because when it's here, you don't have any way to get to them. That's kind of a pain, especially if you're doing several knives and you're wanting to adjust the clamps. Realistically, most of the time, you can leave them in one spot and go from one knife to the next. But if you were sharpening a couple different knives that you wanted the clamps positioned different, then that is kind of a pain. I wish they would do something to where they would bring this out and do something more like the K03, because the K3 has these knobs that you can turn, and I can slide this back and forth. I don't have to take it off. So it makes it easier to adjust the clamp from knife to knife. One of the things that people like about the K3 over these, well, first, one of the things they like about these is they're small. You can, oh, I was going that way, wasn't it? You can fold it up.
Would you do that again? I didn't get it.
Yep, sorry about that. So this locks it in. Neither one of these were locked right now. Flip this up, and then it allows this to fold up, and you can put it away in the drawer. And that's one of the advantages of this, because not everybody has a dedicated sharpening station. This is easier to have a dedicated sharpening station, because you either want to clamp this to a table, and it does come with the clamp in order to do that. Or you want the base plate, and it's a big steel plate, which I don't have one here right now, but you have screw knobs like this that go in there and hold it to the big base plate. This is big, this is bulky. If you're working out of an apartment or you don't have a dedicated place in your house, this can kind of be a pain to lug out and lug around. Where these fold up really easy. Your rod, you unscrew this, pull the rod apart, and you've got everything you can put in a box. It's really handy, really easy, really user-friendly as far as shrinking it. So it's this knob here. Just turn it. It's like a set screw, and it comes off. It doesn't have any hole that it goes into. It's just like a set screw. So it basically pinches the rod. But I questioned how well it would hold. It seems to hold really well. I don't know of anybody that's had issues with it. If you have, please feel free to comment and let me know. I'm always interested in any feedback, plus or minus, that anybody's had with anything that I'm reviewing. I obviously don't know everything about it. And 100% transparency, I've yet to even sharpen a knife with this. I've just gone over the features. I have a K02 at my house that I use that I'm getting ready to turn into a K03. They now sell a piece that will allow you to mount a K3 riser, or they sell an upgrade kit. I already have a riser. Somebody had given me one. So I bought a piece from TSPROF. Omaha Knife has some coming in. They don't have any in stock right now, but they do have some coming in. I bought a piece that will allow me to mount this and take my K2 threaded rod off. And I also bought a piece that allows me to take the regular riser and extend it. So one of the things with the K3 is when you buy this, your average set has the regular riser. Roughly, and I say roughly because your angle depends on how far away your bevel is from this pivot or from the front of the clamps, however you want to look at it, is roughly 23 degrees. That's the highest it'll go. A lot of us have bigger, beefier knives that may have a 25 or higher degree angle, and that's when you would want the extended riser. TSPROF sells that separately. I think it was kind of an afterthought, and they came out with it after they already had this. Don't quote me on that, but that's the feeling I get, because they started selling these and people were complaining that they weren't getting enough angle out of it. Once you get the new riser, it goes up to, I believe, 35 degrees roughly. So you can drop down to around 12 or so. Like I said, again, it depends on the knife. One of the features on the K3 that I like better than the K2 is the new stone parker. Basically parks your rod. So it sets up top. So if you guys wonder which direction it goes in, you want this up, your stone holder down, so that you can hit that spring bumper. Otherwise you'd be hitting that. And when you're ready to park it or switch stones, or you don't have to kick this off to the side, you can just set it there. This little thing fits in that little gap on the lip there. A lot of people ask me about this angle guide. This is not completely accurate, but it actually stays pretty close to what angle you're at. I would still use an angle cube. It comes with one. Might as well use it. Now, as far as where to park the angle cube on these, like I said, you have this one, you can park it here. You can zero it here. This one, you zero here, and you get your angle by parking it up here. I wish they had something that had a little more purchase and held them more solidly and didn't give as much play. But this is a tried and true system and it does work. The K03 obviously is a lot more versatile. You have beefier clamps. You can do larger blades. You know, you have a longer rod. You have more extension. You also have a lot more accessories. For instance, you have like a universal table. I'm not going to take it out of the package, but this will allow you to sharpen like scissors, chisels, you know, an axe head, a bunch of different things. You have different clamps. You have these hole milled clamps. You also have the clamps that they used on like the K2 that had the flat spring. That's what I use a lot personally. I have taken a flat spring clamp, the fillet clamp, and it's double springed. I got the reinforced flat springs and the springs that came with it, and they're both on there. And I use that almost exclusively. It's not that I don't use the other clamps, but I don't need them that often. With that fillet clamp, I've got enough clearance. I can go high or low, and I can sharpen just about anything. Now, one of the things that I have done with my clamps that I would kind of like to see them do is I've taken plastic dip. It's just a liquid rubber, and I dip the ends of my clamps in it. What that does is allow more traction, and it keeps you from marring up the blade. You don't need to tape your blade. When I have yet to need to tape my blade, not that I don't sometimes if I'm sharpening a customer's knife, just because I try to take much better care of your knives than I do my own, but I haven't scratched my blades up since I've used plastic dip to coat these. If I had a Blitz, I'd probably do the same thing. Some people worry about the thickness and is that gonna hinder you from sharpening a knife because the jaws don't open as wide? I haven't found that. Any knife that I've tried to sharpen, I haven't found that I can't do it because I dipped this. You can control the thickness and everything. I would suggest dipping slow, but you let it dry. Nice rubber coating, holds the blade tight. Again, that's up to you, but it's one of the things that I do that would kind of be nice to see them put some kind of rubber coating on the clamps. These all take 1x6 stones, so the regular 1x6 Edge Pro stones. Where you're going to get into a lot of confusion, and a lot of you will wonder, well, what should I get? Because these come with different packages. Now the Blitz and Blitz 360, basically I told you the differences. As far as the real package deals and where it really gets confusing, it's when you start getting into the K3, and I'm guessing it's probably going to be like that with the Cadet. So look and read the description. Like Omaha Knife here has good description of what you're getting in each package, and determine, is that what I want? Is that what I need? I would suggest getting the base plate when they're back in stock. The base plate makes it a lot easier because you're not clamped to a table. Yes, it makes it a little bigger, bulkier, but I can slide it out of my way and do other stuff in my work area if I need to, versus having to unclamp it. It's not that big of a deal, but it is a little faster and it works well. I have yet to put a knife in there that's so heavy the base plate, you know, is tipping, because you do have a good surface area. Look at the stones when you're looking at the package. If you're starting with nothing, think about the type of steels that you're sharpening and what type of stones you want. You know, some of them will come with diamond plates, which work fine, work well, but plates wear out. All stones will wear out eventually, but your resin bonded stones or metallic bonded stones tend to last longer. The resin bonded stones, you know, you can reflatten them or lightly dress them with sandpaper or silicon carbide powder or aluminum oxide powder and expose new abrasive. You have so many choices in the 1x6 stones, whether you want to go with like Chocero, which they do sell here at Omaha Knife as well. You do have different stropping options in the 1x6. Here they also sell some Genda strops, Genda nano cloth here in a larger bench strop. I don't tend to like the Genda nano cloth in the bench strop just because the nano cloth's a really thirsty product and it takes a lot to load it the first time, and the bigger strops you use a lot of emulsion. It's fine once it's loaded. It doesn't take nearly as much to reload it, but that first loading, it really takes a lot. They also sell different leather strops here. They do have Genda emulsions. They have Gunny Juice. You know which one I'm partial to, but don't let whatever I'm partial to influence you. Buy what you want. They do have kangaroo strops. That's what this 1x6 is. They have leather strops. They have nano cloth strops. Pretty soon, I promise you, I will have some more basswood strops put together for you guys. I'll do some in bench strop size, and I'll do some more 1x6 strops, some balsa, possibly some leather, and do some more package deals with the Gunny Juice and the strops. But that's the basic breakdown of some of the differences. Like I said, I know I get a lot of questions about it, so I thought I'd come here, Omaha Knife. They are now a dealer for TSPROF. So I had this stuff available to me to bring to you and kind of show you the differences and explain to you what to look for. So read the descriptions and decide, what stones do I need? If you have harder steels, higher vanadium carbide steels, you're going to want some sort of diamond stone. The silicon carbide stones will cut those harder steels. It will sharpen the harder steels. It takes longer, wears the stone out faster, and once you get below about 3.5 micron, then there's some debatable issues that we can get into that people go back and forth on, and that's the carbide tear out. Yes, it does happen. Yes, it can happen. It has been proven that it can and that it does, but I'm not going to get into a debate about that. But that's where the diamonds really shine. Plus, they speed up the process dramatically. So if you guys have any questions, please comment down below, like, subscribe. Check out Omaha Knife. Check out some of the products they have. They also have a bunch of knives, great customer service. They're local to me. I've been coming here for 5 or 6 years now. I'm in here at least once a week, so if you're local, feel free to message me and stop in and meet me up here, and we can talk sharpening. Like I said, like, subscribe, leave comments, questions, and if there's something else that you want to see in more detail or want another video on, just let me know, and I will try to get that in as quickly as possible. I do have several videos that I still have to upload, and the reason I haven't is just that sometimes takes forever. But thanks for watching.